All right. Final countdown. Let's turn it over to Mission Control. Let's light this candle.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
New Shepard has cleared the tower. The rocket and our astronauts are heading up to space. Now you can follow along on the bottom left of your screen, the altimeter on the left. Excuse me, altimeter on the right and the speedometer on the left.
10,000 feet.
All right, as we go through this flight, there are a couple of milestones here. The first one will be max Q. That's when the dynamic pressures are the highest on the vehicle. We go from 100% power, pull it back a little bit as we go through max Q, and then ramp her back up to 100%.
Okay, maximum pressure.
50,000 feet.
Max G should be in about 10 seconds.
Wow.
Max Q has been confirmed. Again, thank you everybody for joining us for New Shepard's 25th mission to space. So far, a nominal flight. We have gone through max Q.
100,000 feet.
And the vehicle will continue to climb under full power of the BE-3 engine. The next milestone will be main engine cutoff. You will know when that happens when you see the glow of the engine at the base of the rocket go dim.
Miko.
There we go. Main engine cutoff confirmed.
Passing 200,000 feet.
Now, with the main engine cut off, with the BE-3 engine turned off, the vehicle continues to climb up towards its apogee, but as you will see on the left side, the speedometer will come down, and once that speedometer hits 0, that's when you know exactly that the vehicle has hit apogee, its highest altitude in the flight of the vehicle. Now, I understand that separation of the capsule from the booster has been confirmed. And 0G has started for our astronauts. Shortly here, we're going to let them unbuckle and enjoy the beauty of floating around in 0G, but of course, the spectacular views out of those windows. And I'll say that having passed over 330,000 feet, they are over the Kármán line, so welcome to space, astronauts.
Reviens! Reviens! There! Felix wants us to wave. We already did that. And we can keep away until
A few expected drops of UHF.
And there we go. Apogee at just about 347,000 feet or so. Of course, we'll confirm our official figure at the end or after the webcast.
They don't see the same thing.
At this point, our astronauts are still enjoying that beautiful 0G up in their capsule. All 6 crew just officially became astronauts. So exciting. Now, thank you again for joining us for the 25th mission of New Shepard, our 7th human flight. And I'll just acknowledge that the milestone figure on the left is a little bit out of sync, but that's okay. Follow along with me through this flight. I got you covered. At this point into flight, you see the 2 craft, the rocket on the left, the crew capsule on the right. And you're going to see the speedometer on the bottom left of the screen increase as the vehicles speed up back towards Earth. The rocket is going to beat the capsule back down to the ground. It is more aerodynamically shaped. And once it hits atmosphere, we've got a multitude of aerodynamic surfaces that are going to guide it back to its landing pad just 2 miles north of the launch pad. And then just a little bit afterwards, we have the crew capsule, which will also come back down into that West Texas Valley for a nice soft landing.
Launch pad is safe to pass, but not for approach.
Yay!
Copies.
Thank you for telling us.
Yeah.
We always see who can spot it first. Oh, I see it. You see it? Oh, Sarah wins. Sarah wins. We're in relation to the crowd.
Be passing 50,000 feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Point it. You see it? Wait, above it? Below the clouds. Trump coming down. Oh, yeah. Very low before it. Oh, there it is. There it is.
All right, you see the booster that is headed down. You see the drag fins, the drag brakes that have just deployed. Those cut the speed of the booster in half. Also at the top of the rocket there, you see the forward fins. They kind of look like pie slices, one on each quadrant. That helps keep the vehicle stable. And there we go, BE-3 engine relight. Landing gear deployed.
50 feet, 8 feet per second. Touchdown. Autosum started.
And touchdown. Welcome home, New Shepard. What a beautiful flight to space and back for that booster. Man, it feels good to be flying again, Jackie. Taking our astronauts to space and back. It is, I mean, every day is a good day at the rocket factory, but flying people never gets old.
And I love that West Texas desert dust that gets kicked up, and it's, once it clears, a landed booster. It's like a magic trick.
It's exactly, ooh, poof, booster just arrived. Yeah, it definitely adds to the drama of a landing a rocket from space. And, you know, as we say, landing the rocket is just really one of the proudest moments because it shows the incredible engineering. It isn't magic. It is not magic, Jackie. The engineering that has gone into building, designing, testing, flying, but bringing this rocket home from space, ready to be reused. You see, very quickly thereafter, the forward fins come back in, the drag brakes come back in. You look like you just fuel her up and launch her from there and get ready to go again. But the show is not over. The crew capsule has deployed its guide parachutes and its mains. Everything looking nominal on today's flight. Looks like we do have 2 parachutes that have full inflation. The third is not quite fully inflated. But actually, Jackie, this is part of the design. We were talking about my webcast. The first webcast that we did, we tested a chute out. There are multiple redundant factors in this system, and so landing with 2 parachutes is perfectly okay for this system. You'll also see the dust kick out at the base of the capsule as she comes into land. That is the air cushioning system. It's going to kick up a lot of that West Texas dust you just talked about. But it also, there it is, touchdown of the crew capsule. A beautiful flight for our rocket, for our crew capsule, for our 6 new astronauts, Mason, Sylvain, Ken, Carol, Gopi, and Ed. You are officially astronauts. Welcome home, everybody. Now, our team has started operations to safely recover our astronauts from the crew capsule. We send out our safety crew as soon as we have visual connection with the crew capsule coming back from space. So they are well on their way out to meet the crew capsule there. What you're going to see as soon as they get there, the first person on the ground, crew member 7, we've talked about them before, so in this case it'll be Laura Stiles. She's going to go around to each one of the windows, make sure that we've got a thumbs up check from each one of the astronauts. Then you will see the rest of the crew around, safing the capsule, making sure that anything that needs to be vented is vented, we ground it. And then you will see them bring out a set of stairs. The hatch is about a meter or so, a couple of feet off of between the base of the hatch and the Texas floor, so we want them to have a nice smooth exit. And then we bring their friends and family out there.
Then it's time to celebrate.
It's time to celebrate. They've just become astronauts. They've achieved this incredible, it's an incredible thing that they've been dreaming about since they were kids, and finally it's happened. There you go, see part of the operations crew in the background. So we have a celebration, and that is topped off by a pinning ceremony. We pin them with their astronaut pins, and it's a really touching moment. It really is a touching moment. We do have initial confirmation that all astronauts are doing great. They are probably soaking it all in while still, under a rush of adrenaline. They just want to space and back. Look at that beautiful view of our crew capsule in the desert after our 7th human flight on the new Shepard system. Now, Jack, you see the crew capsule there and the parachutes that have fallen not far from the capsule itself. One of the things that indicates is in fact that there wasn't a lot of ground wind out there as they came in. They landed nicely around the crew capsule. And what we just saw there was our drone footage, and then of course here our long-range camera. And Jackie, while this is a long-range camera, something that you can't miss on this crew capsule are the windows. So 6 seats, 6 windows, all like the entire surface area, a third of it is windows. So that also includes the base. So when you think about it, like it actually feels like even more than a third of the capsules is windows. And we've heard from some of our previous astronauts when they're up there, you're like, oh, you're just so, in awe of the view coming in from your own window. But when you turn back around to look at your crewmates, all you see is window because your brain just connects all those windows together. It almost feels like you're just looking out of one continuous window. And talking about previous astronauts, why don't we talk with Chris Boshausen from our 2nd human flight. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Wow, that was an exciting flight.
Wasn't that exciting? I mean, what? Give me an idea. Again, you were on our 2nd human flight. What is it like when you've gone up to space, you've come back down, and you're waiting in the crew capsule?
I think, if I recall, we were just so excited, and like on the way down, I remember William Shatner said, I think when the Capcom does the check-in, he said astronaut Lemley is crying, And then we're all crying. And then we landed. And I think we were kind of laughing with joy that we'd landed safely, but still just overflowing with emotion from what we just witnessed.
Well, and yeah, talking about overflowing of emotion, I think one of the most extraordinary parts from your flight was precisely seeing William Shatner as he came out of the capsule, and he was just overwhelmed. And how fortunate are we to have captured a poet, a songwriter? Not a ton of people know that about Bill Shatner. Put into words in the moment what he was feeling. It was extraordinary. Now, Chris, tell me, we just talked about this one moment when you're in the capsule, but tell me about your experience from training through what we're seeing here. What were some of the highlights?
I think probably the training was a lot of fun because we didn't really know each other before we showed up, and even before we flew, we really felt like a family. And I think one of the cool parts about the training is, as a crew, deciding how we're going to use our time. And we decided that the thing you can't get on Earth or on a zero gravity flight is the view. And so we made a commitment as a team that we would all enjoy the view. I broke my own commitment because I did 2 somersaults the second I got out of my chair. But that view is just captivating.
Do I also remember that you might have brought a little Lego man with you?
I did, yeah. I carried up a few little keepsakes as sort of tributes to my influences. And one of the key ones was a little yellow Lego astronaut. And, ever since I was probably age 4, I've been building spacecraft out of Legos. So I really wanted to carry this up there for the inner child in me and everyone out there, no matter their age, to just keep playing and exploring.
Critical question. Where is that Lego right now as we speak?
He is sitting on my desk at home. He's very happy.
Yeah, he is also
his legs are
an
getting a bit
astronaut.
loose because I actually pick him up every day. Yeah, and he's an astronaut, right? I suppose there were five on our crew.
He's an astronaut. We couldn't put the pin in the plastic, but I'm sure we can send him a pin anyway, if we haven't already. All right, Chris, just a second here. I want to comment on what's going on. So if you're just joining us, we have just had a successful 25th mission of New Shepard, the 7th human space flight for our New Shepard program. That makes 37 astronauts in total that we have taken up to space and back. What you see here is our safety team that is safing the vehicle, making sure, again, that everything that needs to vent has been vented, making sure that our astronauts are all right, although I have heard already that everybody is a thumbs up and had a great flight to space and back. What you will see coming up shortly here is they will put a set of stairs just outside the hatch for a nice, comfortable egress of the crew capsule. And then, of course, we are also removing the parachutes so they're not, so they're disconnected from the capsule itself. Now, Chris, back to you. So you talked a little bit about your experience. Do you have a highlight from? I know this is a hard question. One highlight from the flight itself.
Yeah, I think it's hard to choose, but there's so many really interesting things. But I think the most profound one was when I stopped looking at the Earth and then went out to look at the blackness of space. I felt almost like a tractor beam attracting me and luring me to go further. I almost feel like it was an explorer's gene that switched on, and a voice in my head said, "Keep going." And that, I'd always wondered how I'd feel as a space advocate having flown. Would I feel like I'd finished my life's mission and I had nothing left to do? But I actually came back more motivated than ever to keep going out into space.
Well, Chris, you are an entrepreneur. You helped start the company Planet, which puts, small satellites, Earth observation satellites into space. Before that, you were executive director of Space Generation. trained in aerospace engineering. What was it like putting all of those pieces together and then going to space? You have to speak on behalf of a lot of us that have wanted to go to space and are in the space industry, but may or may not get that opportunity.
Yeah, I think many years ago when I was a kid, I had pivotal insight that a lot of organizations that have space in their name or talk about space don't actually have things in space, which is sort of the impetus for me to become an engineer and ultimately start, co-found Planet Labs, to actually build stuff and put things in space. So my life goal has always been to make space travel as easy as catching a bus. And I felt to lend credibility to that, I had to, put my money where my mouth is and actually try out this thing that I talked about my whole life. So in a way, it was a very grounding and affirming thing for me to do.
Now, obviously this experience has touched you greatly. I love that quote about how you looked up at the darkness of space and it almost was drawing you like, oh, no, there's more to go. We have to go further.
Yeah.
How have you, in the last couple of years since you've flown, what have you done to tell your story, to talk about these experiences and share them with the rest of the world? Besides, of course, joining us on our webcast. So thanks for that, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for having me back. I think the thing that I'm most excited about is to send more people to space. So I actually just joined the board for Space for Humanity. And in the spirit of what I was just saying, they're one of the few space foundations that has actually sent people to space. They've already sent, I think now officially 3 citizen astronauts because they helped sponsor Ed's flight today. And also, by the way, Mason Angel is also a vision board member at Space for Humanity. So I think for me, like being able to push on that frontier to get more and more people to share this experience, to help talk about why it's important and to add more energy and momentum, I think that's really fantastic. And that's something that I'm, just be able to send more people up to space is a really privileged thing to be able to do.
Well, and I should add, yes, thank you for highlighting that Space for Humanity helped sponsor Ed Dwight's seat today, but also the Jamie and Jason Robinson Foundation. And some of the viewers at home might recognize the name Jason Robinson because he also has flown on New Shepard recently. And I think what's really cool, and Chris, you can speak to this, is I feel like when our astronaut customers come back, they join this community and of astronauts, especially Blue Origin. You certainly become part of the Blue Origin family, but the way that you all give back, I guess, what's the draw? What does that feel like being part of that group?
Well, it's a sort of, it's kind of strange, right? I mean, when I flew, I think still fewer than 600 people had been to space. And, if you ask someone in the public, they probably don't know that number is so small. So in a way, we're part of a club that we want to one day, have completely open membership and have the whole, all of humanity be members. So it's just kind of really exciting to be at the beginning of that and seeing new members join. I had a chance to run into some astronauts from some of the other missions from other companies, and they feel the same, and we share this bond of being part of, a group of human beings that have shared a very intimate and unusual experience.
Well, and I should add, Chris, talking about 6 new astronauts that are going to share that bond with you. We have just opened the hatch of the crew capsule. Here comes Ken Hess.
Yes!
Oh, Sharon, I love it.
Hey.
All right.
Carol, welcome back.
Unbelievable.
Sylvain. And here exits Ed Dwight. This gentleman has waited a long time to go to space.
long time coming.
selected in the early 60s as the first black astronaut to fly, although he did not get to fly then. Today was his opportunity, and man, what a flight for him. Finally, an official astronaut.
I'm ready.
Thank you, everyone.
Gopi Thotakura.
All right.
Gopi can add spaceship to the litany of vehicles that he's flying.
Exactly. Put that in his logbook.
That's right.
And of course, Mason, welcome home.
Leo will be very excited to see Mason back on Earth.
Yay! You're down. Here, one of you. Come right on over here.
There's crew member 7, Laura Stiles, assembling our newly minted astronauts.
Overwhelmed, everything you can think of. And I thought I really didn't need this in my life, but now I need it in my life. This is fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being part of this.
All right, I am ecstatic.
Ecstatic. Did anything surprise you? What was it like looking at Earth?
Well, yeah, the transitions about the separations and stuff were a little bit more dynamic. I mean, they were nice, smooth, but that's how it's supposed to be. But it makes your mind wander. There's something wrong with it. But no, it was absolutely terrific, and the views. I mean, just even I couldn't see it, I could see it. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
Everybody needs to do this.
And
Love it.
Hasn't done it yet.
Oh, you have?
No, sir. No, sir.
What?
A life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this. I think that is the quote. And it's so spot on the nose from Ed Dwight, from, again, a gentleman who's been waiting 60 plus years to do this. And if anybody knows, about how to prepare for space,
The crew endurance,
it's
right?
him, and he did it. And that is his
They really
takeaway.
spent some time caring and taking care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to make a comparison of what I've done 60 years ago.
Yeah. Tell us about
How
it.
spry. Back in the day, making the world happen. But this is just absolutely fabulous, And I thought I didn't need it in my life,
That's right. That's what you said this morning.
Yeah.
You've been thinking for 60 years, I don't need it.
But
And
I
then
lied.
Today, you were lying. You were lying. You needed it and you got it. You got it,
I
Dad.
really, really didn't need it. Okay.
You are an astronaut.
Because it was the first real deal that I got involved in that I wasn't successful at. And that was a part that, because everything else I had done had all these little incremental successes,
Right.
They weren't
Right.
gigantic, but they were.
You had a
enough.
lot of, don't be humble, you had a lot of successes.
And to not finish this, really in the back of my mind, so I had to sublimate it and make it go away and say, well, I didn't need that anyway, But I did, and I wish I'd gotten it then, but it's great. That's all I can say.
It's great.
Absolutely fabulous.
Well, we are so
And
happy
you
for
guys,
you.
you guys are the best of the best of the best.
Oh,
I don't. No, I'm serious. But I was talking to Dave last night, we were sitting and chatting. And the fat guy one time said, God, I love this job. I find me a first responder. I love this job. I look at this grown man talking about he loves this job. I mean, what the hell is that? It's absolutely fabulous. So everybody in the organization, I don't know whether you guys took some true serum. I don't know how you
Did
did
you
it.
see his glasses?
Huh?
Did you show him your glasses?
How did the glasses work?
It was perfect. You know, I was moaning and groaning because the icons looked too small.
Okay.
Once the glasses got on, and there was, God, it was like it was, you know.
Just like your practice panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other times I saw it, I mean, I couldn't even see it. It's so tiny. And I was wondering why they made it so tiny on the simulator.
Right.
But the size of it and the real deal is just there, you know.
Good.
Which is absolutely terrific. So
That's wonderful.
So it was worth the $4,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
We are so happy for you. So happy for you. Can we get you?
I think you heard it right there, Jackie and Chris. What an extraordinary day for all of us here at Blue Origin, but especially for our 6 newest astronauts. We were just listening to Ed Dwight. Ed, as we mentioned, was selected back in the 60s to become the first black astronaut. Unfortunately, didn't get to fly back in the day, but we were able to fulfill his dream. And, you know, you could tell that he had kind of talked himself out of it. Like, I didn't need this in my life. I didn't need this in my life. And then you heard him say right now, oh, wait, yeah, no, actually I did. No, this is actually as cool and as life-changing and as touching as I thought it was going to be.
I think the training
so just
makes it a breeze. I think I was in another sim session. I was not. And it's thanks to you and everybody at Blue Origin. Yeah, it's amazing. It really is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the view. Woo. As I pull your glasses off, tell me more.
It's not like movies. It's really not. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really, really take it in. And I looked at it for the first time when we were asked that separation happened.
Yeah.
I got a glance of it, but then when you start to look at it, I started to look at it, and then my legs went up. I was like, I don't want to leave it. I want to go back to it. I want to go back to it.
What did Victor tell you?
It's look outside.
Look outside.
Look outside. But I can't tell you what it is to just look outside. And it's not the curvature. That's why as soon as I came out, I told Phil and Dave, and I said, Daddy's going, and everybody else should go to space.
What do you think? Are you ready? Are you about ready?
One is good.
One is good.
No, but everybody
I'll
should
take
go.
your word for it.
And I think it happens very quick. The 5Gs, you feel every second of it. Oh yeah, you feel every second of it. You'll see me doing some things in there, but you'll feel it. But everything else apart, it was good to see us from the other side. And that's what I started with, right? It's good to see us from the other side. And what you guys have designed and done here, I think every person standing on this planet should go and witness it to really understand what it is, because I can't describe it to you, and I won't. You should go up there and see it. But yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing him back safe.
Yes. Oh, all right. Oh, here we go. Hello, sir.
Hello, thank you so much. Wow. All right.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Welcome
incredible.
back.
Yeah, I'm not back yet quite.
Yeah, well, it might take.
What an incredible day for all of us, and especially our crew on board. Mason Angel, Sylvain Chiron, Ken Hess, Carol Schaller, Gopi Thotakura, and Ed Dwight. It was an absolute honor to fly you to space and back today with Blue Origin.